In May's episode of the Design Build Delivers podcast, we learned a lot about augmented reality in construction from Argyle's Maret Thatcher and DBIA's Brian Skripac. From Sci-Fi to site plans, how AR is changing design build covered everything from the basic differences between AR, VR, AI, and other machine learning, to how AR can benefit design build. We even told a few really bad robot jokes. Okay, so I told the jokes, but I'm taking Brian and Maret down with me. And in this bonus episode, brought to you by US CAD, I asked Maret and Brian to roleplay with me a bit so we could see how they might talk to an owner who wasn't quite convinced to embrace the dark side of augmented reality. So, Maret, Brian, let's say I'm an owner and I'm building a Major League Baseball stadium. Now, at this point, I'm a bit on the fence about augmented reality, so I've called in both of you to talk to me about the benefits for this project. We'll start with you, Maret. What would you tell me to convince me augmented reality would improve this design build stadium project?
Oh, interesting. Well, there's no way to build a baseball stadium today without a BIM effort. So you're going to be investing, I would estimate, upwards of $500,000 or more just on some basic building information modeling. What you're able to do with augmented reality is see how that plan is situated on the job site. So you can proactively prevent anything that might come up. Like maybe there's a challenging site condition that's not apparent in just your drone photography. That's all very apparent on site. When you take a model and put it one-to-one with where it's supposed to be, you find out lots proactively. So I would think about it in that terms. And then if you wanted to sell, seats, if you wanted to raise money for it, this is a great communication tool. Things that aren't apparent on just a rendering or even a fly through on a 3D model become so apparent when they're imagining themselves in their box. That's where it becomes a selling tool. And then after that, I would pass it to your construction teams for quality assurance to make sure that they're actually doing the installations and able to cooperate with one another, again, proactively rather than running into problems and clashes later on.
Well, instead of my construction team, I'm going to pass it to Brian. Assume I, still the owner here, still building a new ballpark, am a DBIA member, and I'm DBIA certified. So I'm 100% going to rely on DBIA's best practices to deliver this project successfully. How would you explain to me that an AR solution is going to help our team achieve design build done right?
I think one of the big things, if I'm the design builder talking directly to an owner, I'm going to say that this is another application that we have to more efficiently deliver projects. This allows us to see how our design and fabrication efforts are going to fit, how these individual puzzle pieces are going to fit together before we actually put it on site. There's going to be a clear understanding. We've done all this virtually. We've used all these traditional tools that we have. We've gone through the clash detection effort. But is it really going to go there? Did something else move that may have gotten missed? And this is how we're going to see what that effort is. And we're going to be able to visualize that while we're out there working. That's going to be our last quality check before something gets installed. At the same time, I want to tell you, the owner, that we also have the opportunity to engage you in this. It's not just about us being able to see this information. It's about you being able to see it on the job site, understanding how you're going to access, maintain, fix, do whatever you need to do with these things. There's going to be certain areas where your insight of how do you access this piece of equipment can be helpful for us while we're designing and constructing it to make sure it's usable by you.
Well, I am sold. Now, I'm a bit of an easy sell. I will probably be among the first to accept our robot overlords someday, but between this brief scenario and the longer episode from Sci-Fi to site plans, even all you reasonable people can understand how much an augmented reality solution like Argyle can benefit your design build projects. In the full episode, Maret tells us this.
Design Build has a especially unique opportunity to leverage their models. We see it all the way from bid, like using augmented reality in bidding and marketing, through making design choices about what actually fits on the site, all the way through installation and quality assurance. And emerging more and more, large mega projects and owners and factories have some type of mixed reality program where at the end of the day, they are leveraging some of these models in their own space. So this is becoming a full life cycle of the building thing, and it's the job of the architect and the contractor. This whole world, it's never been more difficult, but it's also such an exciting time.
Hear more about how it's such an exciting time in the full episode From Sci-Fi to Site Plans on your podcast app of choice. And follow the Design Build Delivers podcast. As always, I am Erin Looney, and this show wouldn't be possible without producer Fred Yee, our amazing guests like Brian and Maret, you listeners, and USCAD. Learn more at uscad.com/DBIA.